One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hears back to a cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Well, we've got some decent news up in the building this morning. Shout out to all of you freaking legends up in the building. I very much appreciate every single one of you guys making sure that the Insane Wheels page is up and running and continues to cover the world news and geopolitics all the way around. Listen, I understand that there are quite a few. There's actually 2 confirmation hearings, I believe, going on actively, something like that right now. And so I had the idea, okay, do I do the hostage release story or do I do I go basically one for views, which is essentially the confirmation hearings. Those are like view clickbait kind of shit, but you don't really get much out of it. The whole, for instance, like who did we just cover on the confirmation hearing, right? We just, Pam, right? Bondi. And it was a 2-day fucking ordeal. Like that shit to me is crazy. Like why didn't, after they do 2 rounds, by the way, with the senators of questions and hypotheticals and all this shit, and then it's another fucking day. Like that wasn't enough. 2 rounds of senators questions and hypotheticals was not enough. They needed a whole nother day for it as well. It's crazy to me. Anyways, with that being said, we have a very good one today. Israel-Hamas hostage release date has been set, and it includes 2 Americans. So before we get into it, man, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's #1 metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to this, stream, hit that subscribe button as well. It's free to do so. Make sure you follow my Instagram, by the way. This is better than my phone number, for real. Direct message me, follow me over here, Ball Valve TV. It's where I post everything behind the scenes of not only me, my lifestyle, as well as the show and Millennial Food Time, man. Please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month, man. We make sure that it is cost affordable for pretty much everybody. And listen, man, members only live streams every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. CST, which is tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow we have our members only live stream. And you get quite a bit of uncensored Mike Ball. That's what you get over there. And last but not least, man, of course, every super chat, super sticker, gift and membership signups, all of that, of course, are going to be shouted out. But if you guys would like to help out the show monetarily, we have these scrolling at the bottom of the show right here. And listen, man, it gets to skip right through that brutal 30% YouTube cut. You know what I mean? So, of course, I'll shout out your message with it as well. So make sure you guys hit that like button. Is basically what I'm getting at. All right. So we got Brother Gary up in the building. Good morning, kind sir, as well as Carney's Ride. We got Dwayne. Always good to see you, gentlemen, as well. We got Brother Warland Hardwire up in the building. She always appreciate you guys, man. We got Steve up in here as well. I'm trying to go through all of these real quick. All right. Boom. I always am like super vigilant with the chat. You know what I mean? Todd J up in here saying, good morning, brothers and sisters. Absolutely, man. I love that shit. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the madness of today. And this is off of Live Now from Fox. And let me see how many hours ago this was. This was 2 hours ago. And this actually is surprising. It's only got 8,600 views on a 4 million subscriber page. So that kind of tells you how many people kind of really give a shit about this. Meanwhile, you have the hearings going on, and those hearings got like 3,000, 10,000 people watching at a time. You know what I mean? So it's evident to what is important to people. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this real quick. I do see this, so I do want to read it. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Friday a deal to return hostages held in the Gaza Strip has been reached after his office said earlier that there were last-minute snags in finalizing a ceasefire that would pause 15 months of war. Netanyahu said he would convene his security cabinet later Friday, and then the government to approve the long-awaited hostage deal. 2 Americans held in Gaza are on the list of hostages to be released in the first six-week phase of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal that was announced Wednesday, a source familiar with the matter said. All right, so let's go ahead and listen a little bit into this. And then, of course, right after this, guys, we're going to go ahead and go into Biden's last remarks that he made yesterday. And I have that that coverage right after we're done with this. So let's go ahead and sit back, relax, grab your sodas, your left-handed tobacco, your beer, your mixed drink, your booze, whatever the fuck you got, man. Make sure you guys sit back and relax. And here we go.
Right now, I wanted to give you a live look out in Israel. It's a live look outside of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office.
Good morning.
On this Friday morning, the Associated Press reports that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said today a deal to return hostages held in the
I'm sure he had his booster shot, Warland.
Gaza Strip has been reached. This after his office said earlier that there were last-minute snags in finalizing a ceasefire that would pause the 15 months long war. Netanyahu said he would convene his security cabinet later today and then the government to approve the long-awaited hostage deal. To provide some more perspective of that, I want to give you this live look just coming down moments ago on X. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu putting out, quote, pending approval by the security cabinet and the government and the agreement taking effect, the release of the hostages will be implemented according to the planned framework in which the hostages are expected to be released on Sunday. So
on Sunday is the first wave.
A lot to follow. We want to bring into the conversation.
First of 3 or 4 waves, I believe. I think they're doing it in a 3-wave ordeal.
Middle East expert Dr. Asaf Ramawaski. Dr. Asaf, always a pleasure having you on the show. Good morning.
We got Dr. Asaf over here. Man,
thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure having you here. So I would love to dissect the very latest of this.
This motherfucker knows his shit in the Middle East, just so everybody knows.
When this was first brokered, there was a back and forth. We know that Israel was not too pleased with what Hamas was asking. Now there seems like there's a deal actually on the table that both sides can agree to, but it is pending.
Yo, Joseph up in the building saying good morning, Mr. Ball, BNC, Breakfast Crew, and all the haters. Stop the cat.
Stop the cap.
Hey, man, I always appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you on the Facebook side, by the way.
Approval from the security cabinet. For those that aren't familiar about the chain of command and why it's important to have the security cabinet approve this, could you provide that?
What? Are you serious right now? Are we bugged, boys? Are we bugged? We're bugged, boys. That's crazy. Claire is saying YouTube is on one today. Can't even send a super chat. Yep. Do you see what we're talking about? I mean, Israel is in the very first word. So you know they're going to be on, the AI system is going to be on us this morning. But I very much appreciate you even trying. But are we bugged, boys? That sucks. That's lame as fuck.
Perspective, please.
For real?
Sure. So to your point, I mean, contextualizing this is very critical.
Good morning, Brother Blair.
Everything that Benjamin Netanyahu has been able to do throughout this entire war has been through his security cabinet. This is this small kitchen cabinet military advisors that has allowed him to move along, even when there have been varying political opinions within the coalition of the Israeli government. Really, it's him and this.
Brother Warland for his third month saying morning. No, good morning to you, kind sir, over there on the West Coast. Always appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that beautiful 3 months right there.
In the security cabinet that has allowed things to move along. That includes the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Staff, and other advisors equivalent to our NSC as far as the National Security Council. And they're the ones who moved it along. It's also critical to understand that throughout the war, this small security cabinet,
they're really blocking the super chats. That shit is about as whack as possible. So let's make sure it's not bugged, because that would really fucking be that would piss me off. So let me see if I can. I'm going to test one right now. We're going to see. Is it bugged, boys? Let's see. Hopefully not. There we go. But now my camera's bugged. Hold on, let me. What the fuck is going on here? Allegedly? What is happening? Holy fucking shit. I was just trying to see it wasn't bugged. Wow. Allegedly. Thank you so much for that $50 super sticker, by the way. And didn't even send in a message. Just wanted to show some love with the super sticker. Wow, man. That is humongous. Thank you very much. And we made sure that the test, it's not bugged, boys. You know, at least for us over there, brother Glare is fucking blocked. That shit sucks, dude. Your super chat was let through. Would let you. Oh, you mean this as well? Yep. Your because the membership program is totally different than like the super chat program. It's two totally different things. They even separate it on your YouTube analytics and money and all of that. They separate it. Just like they separate your AdSense when you're making money off of ads and stuff. They separate that too. And allegedly coming in for the 3 month as well. Holy shit, man. Allegedly, thank you so much for 3 beautiful months right here and your selfless support. I'm really, really mean that. Thank you. Yeah, that's humongous right there. Damn. Thank you. And you're driving? Man, be careful out there, allegedly. Always appreciate you. Mike the Legend, $2 dues. Hey, man, Hardwire. Dues paid, cuh. And yes, I can see that one. If you've been messaging, I'm sure that you've got probably multiple comments that were blocked because of what we're talking about right here. So it's an unfortunate thing. Listen, anytime we're talking about a certain star state, it's just the way it fucking goes. You know, totally used to the chat getting nuked. I think you guys are pretty used to this shit too. So we got Raging Tomato. We got Sarah up in the building saying, popping by to say, hey, have a great stream, Mike. No, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming by the way. You had a great stream last night. You actually kept me up. I'm blaming you, Sarah. I was trying to go to bed early and shit, and then I'm up until 3 goddamn o'clock in the morning because you're playing. I mean, it was a good show. It was a fantastic show. It was great, entertainment and great conversation. You actually had one of the best conversations that I liked. You know what I mean? Like, this is a personal thing. I really enjoyed that conversation that you guys had yesterday. So if you guys haven't gone over to Sarah, man, go over to the Raging Tomatoes channel, man, and go hit that subscribe button. My comments keep getting booted. Yeah, exactly, bro. That's what I was saying. We're talking about a certain star state. This is the way it goes. We got Evie Daily over there on the Facebook side. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. Hopefully you're doing well over there on the West Coast. America Uncensored. Good morning, Mike and everyone. No, good to see you. Yeah, it is your fault, Sarah. It is your fault. Stop the cat.
Stop the cat.
You know what I mean? Shit. We got Brother War Gorilla up in the building. Always appreciate you, my man. Absolutely. You know, so Sarah, here's the thing. I'm going to be real honest about it real quick. You probably see that I'm involved in a lot of the chats. I try to give support to, these different content creators and stuff. As you can see on my show, I'm not a panel verse kind of person in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, my show is me and me by myself. Once in a while I'll bring on special people that really know a topic or whatever, but it's usually on some news and whatever, geopolitics time. But when it comes to the panel verse or getting onto panels, the thing is a lot of the times that what I cannot stand is when people are sitting there screaming on top of each other and you're trying to get a word in and the whole time you're just sitting there just like for me, I'm not going to sit there and like argue. I'm not going to sit there and scream over the top of everybody so I can be heard. I'm going to sit back and just wait until everybody shuts the fuck up. And most of the time that doesn't happen. So then I'm sitting there going, okay, well, guess they don't want to fucking talk about this shit for real. I like being the guy on the panel, for instance, that, you know, a question is proposed to the panel. A question is proposed. Then everyone's like, ooh, me. I'm going to fucking answer it first. Everyone's fighting for it. It's like, you know what? I'd rather be the guy on the panel that when everybody else doesn't have a fucking idea or a clue what's going on, I'm the guy that knows what's going on. And I'm the one that, you know, I'll wait it out. You know what I mean? But that's the one thing that really kind of pisses me off about the panel verse and people yelling over each other. You get all these spurgers fucking just going out. I just can't help it. I'll have to have you on for a sip and stream sometime. It's a chill. Yeah, see, the chill, like conversational panels, you'll see me definitely involved in. For instance, you probably have seen me with Grid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not there to debate the dude. I'm actually there to discuss the topic. I'm not there debating anybody. But unfortunately, in the space, everyone has gotten into this like debate mentality. Like, and I'm like, listen, man, there's time for debate and there's time for conversation, you know? Anyways, I definitely would love to participate in that. That would be a great time. Anyways, back to this.
Has been comprised of what I would define as a coalition of the left, the right, and the center of Israeli politics regarding the war itself. This also allowed him during the war itself to kind of squash the far
Oh, wow,
right.
that's awesome right there. Good to hear that your daughter, also named Sarah, by the way, 2 different Sarahs we're talking about. Today's her 28th birthday. Wishing her a very happy birthday. And that's awesome, man. She's only a year younger than me. That's crazy, dude. But happy birthday to her, man. Absolutely.
Elements of his own political party in order to move things along as a result of the necessity of the war.
Hey, Butchie Khan, I very much appreciate you, kind sir. That's a humongous compliment.
And the general consensus within Israeli society, of course, as that relates to the hostage deal that we're seeing now, where you've seen far right.
All right, Sarah says, all right, got to go. Hanging with my youngest. That's awesome. Have a awesome show, guys. I hit that like button. I very much appreciate that, by the way, Sarah. So thank you for coming by. For everybody else, make sure you guys hit that like button. #1 metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. I very much appreciate you guys. Let's get back into this.
Politicians, in particular Bezalel Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir, who said that they would leave the government if this deal would move ahead, because to their minds, they wanted an all or nothing deal to make this happen, even after the past 15 months. You know, this is a deal. Is it a great deal? Probably not. Is it a necessity? Yes. Given everything you and I have discussed over the past year, the amount of suffering that Israeli society, the hostage families have gone through, and the hell that the hostages themselves have suffered and continue to do so until they actually.
I got a question for you guys in the chat. Out of the 101 hostages, I want an honest answer to this. I don't want no sarcasm in the chat for this. This is human lives we're talking about. I got a question. How many do you guys think are actually dead out of the 101? I'm proposing the question because who's to say out of the 33 people on this first phase that they're going to let out, who's to say that 10 of them are alive and the rest of them are dead? They're just dead bodies. And that's exactly what Israel has been stating the whole time. They're like, we just give us our fucking bodies back at this point, you know? We got Raging Tomatoes. Sarah, thank you so much, saying grift that keeps on grifting. Later, guys. Man. Humongous W, man. I very much appreciate you, Sarah, for that. That really means a lot. Helps out the show immensely.
Come home. This is the culmination of all of that in order to reach some kind of closure on this very emotional roller coaster that they have been going through.
Dr. Asaf, it's good you bring that point up right now. I want to show you and the viewers a live look out in Tel Aviv, Israel, Hostage Square. We've seen this place packed on the weekend where different rallies have been held, where people would plea at that time to the Israeli government to broker a hostage deal to get those hostages in Hamas captivity released. And we've seen different people come out. We've seen rallies since this news came down. And to your point, there has been mixed reaction. You have people that are celebrating. They are happy that the hostages will be released. They're also happy that, unfortunately, if their loved ones have passed in Hamas captivity, that they will hopefully at least get those bodies returned so they could have a proper funeral. On the other side, though, Dr. Asaf, people are scared. They say, okay, once this deal happens, what happens if Hamas does not adhere to what Israel says at the end of the day?
Well, yeah. When you're negotiating with terrorists, bro, you think they're really going to keep their fucking word?
They are a terroristic organization. Can you really trust what they say? Also, where do they go? What happens to other areas of the Middle East? Could you provide that context as well, please?
Good question.
Sure. To your point, that's been the biggest sticking point. I mean, let's be clear here. Israel is not negotiating directly with Hamas. It has been negotiating with interlocutors, in particular.
Isn't that so weird? But then that will fucking go through. Isn't that so weird? So strange how they decide what goes through and what does not. I can't wait for this shit to be over with this censorship shit.
Doha, and the Qataris have been the ones who've been moving this along together with the Egyptians. Let us not forget that Qatar has been complicit with Hamas and the events and the slaughter and the brutality of 10/7. They have created a safe haven.
Consistently, not just during this ordeal, consistently.
Over the course of the war, and prior to that, for Hamas leadership, they have funded this, yet they are still playing it both ways as being involved.
Like, you guys know the whole, like, old saying, I don't negotiate with terrorists. The United States negotiates with terrorists. Israel negotiates with terrorists. That shit is, can you imagine negotiating legitimately? Can you, wrap your fucking mind around negotiating with a terrorist organization? That shit is hardcore, dude. Just saying.
In the hostage negotiations. Now, the sticking point was, and it's still going to be, and there's
Hardwire. You should go live, by the way, when you're over there. Go live for 10, 15 minutes or whatever on YouTube, on your vertical up and down YouTube live stream. That'd be fun for people to hop in and watch you guys have a good time. Just saying.
When you're dealing with an Islamist terrorist organization, there's always a concern and a possibility of a bait and switch about the approval of names. And again, you're talking about the fact that Hamas has demanded via Qatar high-profile names where they're going to go.
Are you serious, Lappy? The motherfucker over there gang banging on the Steelers and shit. That's why. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, man, Lappy. Always appreciate you. Good to see you, by the way. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know why the AI, there's specific things that happen that, every time, I've noticed every time that we speak on this star state right here, unfortunately, the fucking chat gets nuked every time. I'm someone that covers the Middle East, as you know, all the time. And so I know it's not like a once in a while I talk about Israel. No, I talk about it all the fucking time. And every time the fucking chat gets nuked. It's weird.
The lists have not been exactly revealed yet.
Hey, William, I always appreciate you, my man. Be safe out there. Be blessed. I always appreciate you, my man. And thank you for hanging out with us.
About the kind of individuals, and many of the security prisoners that will amount to close to over 1,000 by the time this phase deal will be implemented are active individuals that will probably be reactivated with Hamas, have blood on their hands, have participated in attacks against Israel and against innocent civilians versus actual Israeli citizens
Right.
women, children, elderly, and so the misnomer as far as a moral equivalency between the two groups that are being exchanged here. Let's be clear exactly what Israel is getting back and what Israel is putting back into the basically fortifying the Hamas bench as it relates to active terrorists. And to your point, there is a debate, or there is a point in this deal that some of these individuals would be deported. Deported where? So the concern, the destinations are Turkey, Qatar, Egypt,
Wow.
and so that again, and this is part of the challenge for Israel
Holy
as
shit.
it relates to the larger
That's fucking crazy.
configuration of this deal.
Yo, Joker.
What this does.
Yo, how you feeling this morning, my man? Good to see you. He says, "What's up, Mike and everyone? Much love and respect. Been stuck in the bed for 2 days now. Sucks." Yeah, that does suck, dude. How long do you think that you're going to be hurting for? I don't know if you guys know, in the chat here, Joker, he got into a bad motorcycle accident a few days ago, man, and totaled the bike, but he's still alive, man. And it wasn't his fault ordeal, but we got Dragon Heart Loki, by the way. Shit, coming in with the $2 Canadian, by the way. I love Canadian money. Hillbilly Hank told me to give money here. Wow, thank you for that. I very much appreciate your support and help to the channel. For real. We got Brother Beezer up in the building over there in South Florida, man. Shout out to my man. I always appreciate my man here.
It is actually allow Hamas to thrive and to create an environment where there will be a Hamas at the end of the war and the day after tomorrow scenario. And that poses, again, ongoing challenges for the Israelis and threats. But the key point here in this deal, to your point, is really to bring back loved ones back to their homes, dead and alive.
I was about to say, how many are actually going to be alive in that home, though? I mean, there's a reason why they picked 33, right? Because there's going to be essentially 33, 33, and 35 or whatever fucking for the 101 total. But how many of them going to be alive? Like, everyone's like, oh, 33 hostages are being released. Yeah, but how many of them are actually alive even? Because they're not saying they're alive hostages. Israel's been begging for the fucking bodies back now for months. It's been fucked up. It's been fucked up.
And to create closure, the emotional and the physical abuse that these individuals have gone through is insurmountable. The level of PTSD is also insurmountable. Hospitals are preparing.
What's up, Paul? Good to see you over there, man. Thank you for hanging out with us this beautiful morning. It's I'm always honored to have all these legends in here hanging out with us. It's always, this is my thing. I love doing this, so I always very much appreciate the support. By the way, let me reset my cam. Once in a while, I'll get this glitch, and it's really pissing me off with my camera. Some chats going through. That's good. That's definitely good that the chats some of them are being, not blocked. That's good. And road rash does suck. Let me tell you, when I was in that hospital bed, my whole back was entirely road rash. Okay. And down to my ass. And so that shit, I'm going to tell you, was actually the most painful aspect of me being in the hospital. Was not just my leg ordeal. Yeah, that was fucking pain. I couldn't even explain that kind of pain. But the most uncomfortable fucking thing is when you've got road rash and you can't do anything. Even laying down hurts. There's nothing you can do. No matter where you lay, you're in fucking just agony. So I relate to that shit, dude. I don't forget about it. Absolutely.
To bring them back, and they are treating them, and this is also critical to understand, they are treating them like Holocaust survivors, given all the trauma that they've gone through, and that's the what they are preparing for when the Red Cross vehicles brings them in from Gaza. And at this point, the timetable is the hope that this starts as early as Sunday evening Israel time in order to begin the process of this phased return of the first phase, what they're calling the humanitarian phase of the first 33 hostages.
Yeah, and it's interesting as we discuss the humanitarian phase on the hostages side, there's also concern and even confusion across the aisle as it relates to the humanitarian crisis with many of the Palestinian people in Gaza, the civilians that had nothing to do with the conflict in the first place, giving a live look out in Khan Yunis, Gaza at this hour. And you can see the looming issues, Dr. Asaf, makeshift tents, people don't have basic food and water, barely have clothes to provide for themselves. I know there was a lot of pressure at the beginning of the Israel-Hamas conflict on Netanyahu to provide that post-war plan. On your end, are you hearing anything, any aid or any provisions that will be given to those innocent civilians that have been displaced because of this conflict?
That'd be crazy.
So let's also be clear, and this is a point that you and I have raised over the past year or so.
That's right, everybody. Real quick, just a little halt to the show. Make sure you guys hit that like button. #1 metric of all of YouTube. I don't ask you guys to send any money or anything. I just ask you guys to hit that like button. I very much appreciate that. It helps out way more than people know.
More aid has gone into Gaza post 10/7 than prior to that. What happens is, and the imagery and the environment that has been created by Hamas itself is to create this vision and this visual look of famine, starvation, and whatnot. There are, unfortunately, a great deal. There are casualties of war, but the society itself has been supportive at large of Hamas. And these are all part of the questions that are going to be laid out. What does all of this mean as it relates to the day after tomorrow scenario? Who is going to govern Gazan society? The Palestinian Authority is weak. Mahmoud Abbas is in his 80s. These are all bigger questions here. And so what are the mechanisms? Who are the countries that are going to be involved in all of this? And let us not forget, and this has also been related to part of the deal, there is the fundamental security concern as it relates to Israeli society, as it relates to those access points and those security areas. One of them, of course, has been the—
I'm really, really surprised that it's yet been discussed about, we're hearing the benefits of Israelis. They're going to be getting their people back, including 2 Americans for us. I'm very surprised they haven't really talked about what the deal is for Israel to Hamas. And they're going to be giving up. So this is the Israeli side. Part of the ceasefire agreement is that they are going to release 1,000 hostages, not hostages, 1,000 prisoners of Hamas or Gaza. So they're imprisoned in Israel right now. So one of the deals is part of this phase is going to be 1,000 prisoners being released. So I'm surprised that it's not really been discussed at all. Just saying.
The Philadelphia route, which is where much of the smuggling has been taking place from Egypt. That's been a sticking point in this current deal as far as how far and if Israel at all was willing to move away from the Philadelphia route. That's been a non-starter for the Netanyahu government, given the security risk in that corridor itself. They are moving away from other access areas, allowing more aid to come in from other countries. But aid has been coming in. It's important to understand that Hamas is the one who's been—
that aid is I've never really seen it stop. Even when the UN put a halt to what they were doing over there in Israel and helping with resources, humanitarian aid, that's the only halt that I saw. I didn't see any halt from the Israeli government. I'm going to be honest. And this fake narrative that they just stopped or they weren't providing. And I have my buddy in Israel sending me video of like him in his car driving down the freeway, and there's just lines and lines, I mean, for miles of these fucking trucks that are coming out of Gaza right there. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Like, it's really hot. Like, going in full, coming out empty, you know? Yeah. I mean, I was watching this shit. Shit's crazy.
Been using and abusing the own Gazans themselves in order to create this environment. Yes, there has been challenges in the civilian population, but let us not forget, it was Israel and still is the IDF and the Israeli government at large, despite the predictions of the current outgoing Biden administration that told Israel not to go into Rafah. He won't be able to move the civilian population. And they did into safe zones. Over 1.2 million individuals who were removed, who were told to go. Israel took care and maintained the humanitarian integrity of this war. And of Gaza in particular, like no other army has done.
Yep, he's right.
And for that, they deserve a lot of credit.
That's true.
Again, the reconstruction of Gaza is going to be a fundamental question going in now into the Trump administration, how this all looks like. And these are issues that are going to be have to ironed out as this goes forward. But when you're talking about urban warfare, when you're talking about the maze of terror tunnels that Israel has been fighting, and now you're allowing also Hamas, you're giving them basically a lifeline in this deal to continue operating. These are the concerns that everybody has.
Yeah, that's wild.
And a concern that's going to be, weighing on the Israelis when you have Hamas leadership around the region saying, we hope and wish for more type of 10-7 attacks. So clearly, even with the deal itself, that is not squashed their desire to annihilate the state of Israel.
Wow. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and move into the segment where I told you guys that we were going to move into Old Man Joe. Old Man Joe going to be giving us a little bit of his last words here.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. President Joe Biden making a farewell address at the Department of Defense.
Thank you.
He's doing that at the Department of Defense.
Every time I'm here, it's made me so damn proud to be an American. And most all of you as well. 1% of you are defending 99% of us. We owe you big. Just over 240 years ago, George Washington gave his farewell address.
Yo, good morning, Jess. Hopefully you're doing well over there. Oh, well, down in Australia. Always appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. I guess it is morning for you too. It's like 3:38 in the morning for you. Like that's rough. I was up until about that time last night, which was rough. We got Junkyard, by the way, up in the building saying we live, baby. Much love and much love to everyone. I'm gonna be gone for a few months. Got to face the consequences of actions. Amen. That sucks. But I totally feel what you're saying right here. So listen, man, few months, go sit it out. You'll be good. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing that you haven't already probably done. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Damn comments getting deleted like crazy this morning. Yeah, Jess, we were just having a whole spiel about it because everyone's feeling it in the chat. We just finished up right now speaking on Israel. And this whole live stream chat is going to be nuked because of the title. Like, it just attacks the chat. It sucks. We got Dean up in the building saying Star Spangled Banner. Yes, sir. Brother Dean, I always appreciate you as well over there in Israel, showing some love over here, man.
Army. Still astonished by their victory and by their unity. Washington
That's
asked,
crazy.
and I quote, who that was not a witness could imagine the men who came from different parts of the continent
Fix the audio.
would instantly become one that was not a witness
Fix
could
it.
imagine the men who came from different parts of the continent would instantly become one patriotic band of brothers. That's what you are. One patriotic band of brothers. Vice President Harris, Jill, Doug, Secretary Austin, Secretary Brown, two of the best decisions ever made in my career, by my dad. Service secretaries.
Yeah, it probably knows that you really don't speak on. Well, every time that you send a message on the platform, you know it's recorded. You know it's now on their platform. It's recorded. It's probably for the people like me who speak about politics a lot, opinionated, shit like that. Then those people usually tend to get more, you know, censored. I don't know why that it just knows that shit.
Members of Congress, and most importantly, this patriotic band of service members before me. Serving as your commander-in-chief.
Exactly, Tiffany.
Has been the greatest honor of my life. While I'm deeply grateful for your thanks and affection, I'm here to thank you. Thank you for your service to our nation, and for allowing me to bear witness to your courage, your commitment, your character. As I listened to the choir sing, I thought about it. You all represent what America is: character, honesty, integrity, commitment. Like Washington, it left me astonished, and I mean it. Over the years, I've frequently seen you in action in war zones in Bosnia, Baghdad, Fallujah,
Beezer.
Kabul. I'm going to bore the hell out of you, but
Hates the disabled community.
Helmand, Kandahar, and other places. I remember one trip to Afghanistan as vice president. I was at a forward operating base, Wardak province, which is in eastern Afghanistan. I was asked by a commanding officer to pin a Bronze Star on a soldier for his heroism. A soldier's teammate was hit while driving in a Humvee. This soldier did everything possible to rescue his colleague from the burning flames. When I went to pin the medal on him,
I got you, War
the soldier
Gorilla.
looked at me and said, "I don't want it. I don't want it. He died. I don't want it." In that moment, all I could think about was the incredible courage and humility the moral compass of this soldier had, that all of you had. This is not hyperbole.
This motherfucker really glazing him. Really trying.
You are simply the greatest fighting force in the history of the world.
It's true.
In the history of the world. That's a fact.
True.
That's not hyperbole. That's a fact. And there's never been a time in history when we've asked our military to do so many different things, so many places, all at the same time. And I want to be clear. You've done all these missions with strength, and maybe even importantly, in integrity. When I ask you to end our nation's longest war, it rose to the occasion, evacuating Americans, allies, and our Afghan partners, accomplishing the largest airlift in military history, and ending a war with the same courage that defined American service in Afghanistan for over 20 years. I believe history will reflect it was the right thing to do, but I know it was hard. After decades of losing your brothers and sisters, including the withdrawal, the pain was still real. And it was for me as well. Every day I still carry it, every single day. It's my schedule. On the back of the schedule, every single day, at the top since I've been here, it says daily U.S. troops in Afghanistan. U.S. troops have died in Afghanistan. 2,465. Not over 2,000, 2,465. Troops wounded. 20,769. And every day we'll honor their sacrifice for continuing the mission for which they gave their lives. Fighting terrorism, defending our homeland, and protecting the American people. 6 months after that war ended, when Russia began its
It's been a long 4 years of listening to this prattle. It's been a long 4 years. Thank God this is the farewell. Don't let the fucking door hit your ass either. You know what I mean? On your way out, make sure. Fucking just get the fuck out of here, dude. You know what I mean?
largest war in
it
Europe
is.
since
It's
World
rough.
War II.
Much love, brother Blair. Be
I asked
safe
you to
out
help
there.
defend Ukraine.
Always appreciate you, dog.
You didn't hesitate. You kept Ukraine in the fight. Trained Ukrainian soldiers and pilots, troops. Bolstered NATO's eastern flank. And above all,
That's right, Hardwire.
showed the world America stands up for freedom, stands with our friends. America stands strong with our allies. We never bend down. We bend down to no one. Certainly not Putin. And now,
Oh my goodness.
nearly 3 years later, Putin has failed to take Kyiv, failed to make large territorial gains.
Why? Stop. Why? Stop talking about that shit. You could have just kept going and rattled on for whatever. You can just continue that shit, but stop. Don't poke the fucking bear. And then now Trump's got to come in and clean up your shit. Come on, man.
And failed to break NATO. As a matter of fact,
Oh my
when I
goodness.
spoke to him on the phone, he talked about he wanted us to be the Finland of Europe. And I pointed out to him at the time, for real,
For real.
that you're not only get the Finland of Europe, you're going to get the Finlandization.
Stupid. Stop the cap.
Not of Europe.
Stupid.
You're going to see Europe joining NATO, Finland joining NATO, Sweden joining NATO. And America's watch. Dictators do not get to do whatever the hell they want.
This is stupid.
And following Hamas.
Why? Why are you the ultimate arbiter of what happens around the fucking globe? Let Russia be fucking Russia. Who cares? Let Ukraine be Ukraine. Let Russia be Russia. Why are we telling other governments how to run their shit? They don't give a fuck about us. Russia, Putin only cares about Russia and Russians. That is it. I'm pretty much kind of the same thinking route of an isolationist. I think it should be us, and all our money is here for us. It's for Americans. Like, keep everything in-house type shit. If we can. I mean, if we have to buy other things around the world, we're going to have to do shit like that. Of course, I'm not saying destroy trade routes and shit like that. But you understand what I'm getting at, that our resources is for Americans. So, I mean, why do we have to dictate what's happening in fucking Russia? The hell? Look what happened when we try to go stop communism. That was a fucking terrible mistake.
Terrorism, October 7th. I asked you to, excuse my back, by the way. My mother would be very upset.
What?
I asked you to deploy to the Middle East. Again, you stepped up, pulling long nights and long deployments to weaken Hamas, to defend Israel against unprecedented attacks on Iran. Imagine had we not. If we don't lead the world, who will lead the world? Who?
Oh my goodness.
Twice.
You're doing way too much.
You stood up to the attacks by the Houthis in the Red Sea. Last year, I spoke with the women and men aboard the destroyer that took down the first Houthi attacks. It was the USS Carney. And I want you to tell you all what I told them. We owe you. We owe you. And back in May,
Got that right,
yesterday
Junkyard.
the proud announced the ceasefire, the hostage deal between Israel and Hamas. The road to that deal was not easy. It was 8 months ago I laid down the elements of that deal in May, embraced by countries around the world, because they know we say what we mean, endorsed overwhelmingly by the UN Security Council. It's taken 8 months. a nonstop, relentless effort of my administration to get it done. But because of you, all of you standing behind me, because of you, because of so many diplomats and defense professionals, we kept the pressure on Hamas. And we got it done.
No, you didn't. Trump got it done.
And finally, when I ask you to strengthen America's position in the Pacific, in the middle of all the other conflicts and crises, you said no problem.
I told you guys that we're going to take the...
China in check. Remember when we
I told these fucking idiots we're going to take total 100% claim and you know, they're taking responsibility for making this deal happen, the ceasefire between Hamas, and he is going to take that and run with it for the rest of his goddamn fucking life. Yep. Meanwhile, Trump is the one that actually fucking got that whole fucking steamroll get to this very point because of simply his pre-inauguration speech saying, if by the time I get in motherfucking office and something hasn't been made, a deal hasn't been made, hostages haven't been released, there will be fucking hell to pay. We covered it right here on this fucking channel. We watched it happen. And then guess what? A couple days later, they're talking about a fucking ceasefire. Oh, yeah, that magically fucking happened because of your administration, Biden. Yeah, come on, dude.
Stop the cap.
You know what I mean?
Took office. China was going to overcome the United States economically and politically by 2030. Everybody wrote
it's terrible,
that.
Loki, I know.
Except here in this building. The skies open, the seas free, and our allies close. You established our first trilateral defense partnership with Australia and the United Kingdom. Our first trilateral partnership that we said couldn't get done with Japan and the Philippines.
Stop talking.
And our first trilateral partnership between Japan and South Korea. Remember that?
Oh my goodness.
David that said we couldn't do it.
Why are you speaking on geopolitics, homie?
It was America. We did it. That's what America does.
Why are you speaking on geopolitics?
America's acting out of character.
This fucking guy is a clown.
Our nation is so much, so many others. Our nation has asked so much.
What's up, Arwin, man? Good morning.
Well. Doctors and nurses.
This dude is capping so hard.
To learn to walk again, eat again, speak again. The National Guard members who dropped everything to help their fellow Americans during the fires and hurricanes. The Marines guarding embassies around the world. The scientists making sure we have an edge over adversaries. Interpreters who make our missions possible. Perhaps most importantly, your families. They sacrifice so much. And I might add, the doctors and nurses. Excuse a point of personal privilege, as used to say in the Senate. Came home I commuted every day. Every single day, over 2,100,000 miles on Amtrak because I lost my family when I first got here. My oldest son, one day I went home, he was the Attorney General. He said, Dad, what are you doing Friday? I said, what do you want me to do? He said, why don't you pin my bars on? I said, what? He said, you're married with 2 children. I said, no, Dad, but someone's got to go. He spent a year in Iraq. Won the Bronze Star.
Most unqualified Attorney General ever.
Like many others.
Unreal.
Exposed those burn pits, which are within about half a mile of where he bunked. At stage 4 glioblastoma, like so many other of our folks. And I watched the nurses and the doctors who took care of him for so long.
He's so big capping.
And by the way, I want to take a moment to speak to all military spouses. Kids,
oh my goodness.
Here today.
Put a sock
Most
in
Americans never see the sacrifices that you make.
Oh my goodness.
Every
this guy,
single day.
Pandering.
Stop the cap.
They'll never see all those holidays and birthdays with an empty seat at the dinner table because mom or dad was deployed. They'll never see all the moves you had
Stop pretending that you relate to anything.
Make to new states, to new schools, to new jobs. But I see it, and Jill saw it. She made it her life's work. She's done everything big and small. Help military spouses find child care and build their own careers. By hanging photos, employed moms and dads outside classrooms of those National Guard folks. Because on every holiday, every time there's something going on, their moms or dads weren't there, but no one ever mentioned it. She started getting in every classroom in America to put a picture of an employed mom or dad outside the classroom. Even this morning, she held an event for joining forces.
For joining forces?
The historic White House initiative to support military and veterans' families.
He's talking
because
in cursive.
As the poet John Milton wrote, they also serve will only stand and wait. They also serve only stand and wait. So for the last time as Commander-in-Chief, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to all the families. We owe you. We've long said as a nation, we have many obligations.
I got a hairy leg too. Singular. Got a hairy leg.
I said we only have one truly sacred obligation. That's to prepare those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't. Over the last 4 years, Kamala and I have worked to make good that obligation.
Stop the cap.
Passed more than 40 bipartisan laws to support you, including
Stupid.
something that I felt so strongly about, the passage of the PACT Act. We drafted that law and we passed it. Now it's already helped over 1 million service members and their survivors, their children, their access, everything from college to health care. These people were exposed to toxins. In my generation to Agent Orange, my son's generation to burn pits.
Bro, come on.
But we had to prove that what you had, what your disease,
Wrap it up.
all the brain damage, all the brain cancers were a direct consequence of those toxins or Agent Orange.
Come on, man. Just stop
We
talking.
changed that. I want to publicly thank the 9/11 Commission. All those folks, all those firefighters were so badly damaged because of the fumes and the toxins.
So you got to talk about
associated
shit that
with
didn't even happen in anywhere close to your administration. Like, why are we talking about this shit? Put a sock in it.
9/11. And those of you who are the Vietnam generation, finally, all you had to prove is that stuff dropped on you.
Holy shit,
And
allegedly.
it didn't cause. They didn't have to.
Saying, note to self, don't floss your teeth listening to Biden. Bloody situation. Yeah, I can imagine you sitting there just getting fucking angrier and angrier. Yeah, that's... oh,
beyond
shit.
reasonable doubt it caused your disease.
That's funny.
Just state the fact and you're covered. We've invested over $1 trillion in our defense industry base. In real dollars, that's more than America did in any 4-year period during the Cold War. We also invested record resources to fight the scourge of military suicide. No more calling and saying, my husband needs help. He needs help.
Everyone behind is just going, dude, can you just shut the fuck up? Please. Let's just get this wrapped up. Just stop. Just stop.
Get an answer. We fought veterans home. We brought veterans homelessness
Huh?
to record lows. Made historic changes.
Why are we capping on this shit? You know that there's a humongous homeless veteran problem in this country, and it is not on an all-time low. What are you saying? Where are you getting your numbers? This guy is fucking so out of touch, it's unreal.
Justice system, which has reduced the rates of
Crazy,
sexual assault
Dwayne.
for the first time in nearly a decade. We ended the ban on transgender service, We took landmark steps to create more economic opportunities for military spouses. We expanded opportunities for women in combat roles. And I'm proud to have appointed the first woman as a service chief in the history of this country. Clap for that, folks, because she deserves it.
Clap for that, folks. It sounds like it. They put a commercial on his ass? They stopped him? No way did they just do that. No way. I'm skipping. I thought it was going to pop back up like it was an accident.
Again, thank you so much for waking up with us here on Live Now from Fox. It's Friday morning, January 17th. I'm Gina.
Wow. Okay. That's super interesting. They just cut his ass off. Yeah, it just goes back into Israel. What? That shit is fucking crazy. What in the hell, dude? That is crazy. They shut his ass down. You know it's bad. Holy shit. You know it's bad. If they just shut you down like that. That's crazy. In the middle of it, he wasn't done. That's crazy. All right. Hey, W mainstream media on that one. Because I was done with it too quite a while ago, you know? Yeah. No, that was. Oh, he just asked for the applause. Like, was that the ending? That's crazy. That's a really weird ordeal right there, I can tell you. But listen, everybody, much love, honor, respect to everybody. Thank you guys so much for the endless support, man, and the selfless support. I can't thank you guys enough. Not only just being here, man, being here alone is support, you know, and I very much appreciate everyone that does support in that way. I mean, hitting that like button, it means the world, you know what I mean? For everybody that's helped out monetarily, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys show a lot of love. And I'm very honored and humbled by that, man. So stick around. We're going to be rating Andrew Wilson over there. He is actually on the Tim Pool cast right now. But his wife, Rachel is doing a viewing party while it's happening live. So go say hi and let her know that it's a Mike Ball raid over there and show a little bit of love. It's very rare that he's live streaming at the same time that I am. It's very super rare because he's usually more of an afternoon / like evening time, you know, streamer. So anyways, with that being said, much love, honor, respect to all you legends. And we'll see you guys at tomorrow morning, members only live stream for you guys in the Breakfast Club. If you guys aren't in the Breakfast Club, we'll be back Monday for you guys. Same time, 10 a.m. CST. And for more of the world's madness. Much love, honor, respect to everybody. Have a great day.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning.